My friend, today is one of those days that will go down in history. The Buffalo Bills have just confirmed the arrival of a name that could mark a new era for the franchise. I know you, as a fan, have been thrilled by big names in the past, but this arrival is something different. A strategic, risky, and extremely calculated decision. And I'll tell you all about it now. But first, like and subscribe, because the information I have will blow your mind. The Buffalo Bills are entering the preseason with limited difficulties. One after another, key players are being released. And this is creating a chain reaction that the front office needs to address immediately. Wide receiver Khalil Shakir is already ruled out until the first week of the regular season. There's also cornerback Maxwell Hairston, whose knee surgery adds to the growing list of absences. And just when things couldn't get worse, kicker Tyler Bass was sidelined with a pelvic injury, turning a special timeout practice into a viral spectacle. In a hilarious and concerning moment, rookie running back Ray Davis, yes, the same Davis who was expected to take on a backfield role, was asked to play kicker during the Bills' blue and red practice. Surprisingly, Davis hit several field goals from over 25 yards, and the online crowd erupted. While amusing, this improvisation served as a major catalyst. Warning sign: Buffalo wasn't prepared to lose its all-pro kicker just days before the preseason opener. The Bills' roster listed Ray Davis as an emergency kicker, but that was intended as more of a locker room joke than an actual game plan. Reality set in. With time running out, Buffalo acted quickly. It signed kicker Caden Davis, a former Ole Miss standout and 2024 Lou Groza semifinalist. Davis had a brief stint with the New York Jets before being released in late July and is now on the field for Buffalo's preseason opener against the Giants. To make room, the Bills released wide receiver Kelly Akarayi for the second time. The undrafted Heat had been re-signed just days after being initially cut, but Davis's arrival meant Buffalo needed to make room quickly. All eyes are now on Caden Davis, who will almost certainly start against the Giants. With the start of during the preseason, the injury spree is more than just a nuisance. It's affecting the team's integrity, repetitions, and chemistry. And that brings us to the next big thing: how the front office plans to address the deeper issue that threatens the team's flexibility going forward. It's no secret that success comes at a price. And in Buffalo's case, that price is weighing heavily on the salary cap. Despite their Super Bowl caliber roster, led by MVP caliber quarterback Josh Allen, the Bills currently have the worst salary cap situation in the NFL. They're operating in the red, with no flexibility whatsoever. With this in mind, the team faces difficult decisions, and one name has emerged as a potential salary cap hit: defensive tackle Daquan Jones. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, Jones is a prime trade candidate, potentially freeing up $7.8 million in cap space if traded before the August 26th deadline. The logic? Buffalo added significant depth to its defensive line this offseason and could afford to add a veteran rotational piece like Jones. It's not about performance. Jones has been solid, but with DT Larry Ogunjobi suspended for 6 games, depth additions through the draft and free agency give Buffalo the confidence to explore this route without sacrificing competitiveness. In fact, moving Jones now could open up options elsewhere on the roster, or even create room for a bold new addition. But what if this move turns out to be a masterstroke? There's a big name on the Bills' radar. The Buffalo Bills, already one of the NFL's most dangerous defensive lines, make a last-minute play that injects even more firepower into their defense, and at the same time, frees up much-needed salary cap space. Sounds like a fantasy, doesn't it? Well, according to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, that's not just wishful thinking. It's a very real possibility. Knox is proposing a trade that would send 24-year-old edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux from the New York Giants to the Buffalo Bills. In return, a 2026 second-round draft pick and defensive tackle Daquan Jones. And yes, it would be a jaw-dropping, franchise-changing move. At first glance, it's the kind of headline that makes you blink twice. Kayvon Thibodeaux? Really? But let's break it down, and you'll see why it makes so much sense. First, let's analyze the Giants. They've already made some big changes to their pass rushing unit this offseason. They traded for Brian Burns, one of the league's best edge rushers, and also drafted Abdul Carter, a high-potential linebacker, in April. With these 2 new weapons, Thibodeaux, while still incredibly talented, suddenly becomes a piece the Giants could consider moving, especially if there's uncertainty about his long-term future in New York. Now, turn your attention to Buffalo. The Bills have been methodically building one of the deepest defensive fronts in the league. They've already featured Joey Bosa, Gregory Rousseau, and AJ Epinesa in a periodic rotation of pass rushers. But imagine adding Thibodeaux to that group. You'd have a 4-headed monster coming from the backfield, alternating fresh and explosive pressure on every down. That kind of defensive line wins playoff games and Super Bowls. Thibodeaux has racked up 21 sacks in just 3 NFL seasons. And here's the thing, he's only 24 years old. He's just getting started. If there's one thing you know about great pass rushers, it's that they improve with age and experience. Putting him in a system where he's not the sole focus of every blocking scheme, that's a nightmare. nightmare for opposing offenses. And from a financial standpoint, this move works surprisingly well. Thibodeaux's salary cap hit is a manageable $10 million in 2025, far less than other elite edge rushers are receiving. On the other hand, moving DaQuan Jones would free up $7.8 million in cap space for the Bills, giving them the budget they desperately need in the face of the current salary cap crisis. So let's connect the dots. Buffalo needs cap space. They need another elite piece to dominate defensively. They have a tradable veteran, and there's a potentially available rising edge rusher. The stars are aligning, and Brandon Beane might be bold enough to make it happen. But of course, there's one more question. Did the Giants really let Thibodeaux go? That's the rub. New York has every reason to keep a young, talented defender like him. But if they're unsure about whether they want to re-sign him long-term, and if they believe Brian Burns and Abdul Carter are the future, they might consider recouping valuable draft capital now. A second-round pick, coupled with a player like Jones, might be just what they're looking for. For the Bills, it's simple. This trade would be game-changing. Add a Pro Bowl-caliber pass rusher, solve a financial headache, and send a message to the rest of the NFL. You're all in for the 2025 Super Bowl. While this potential trade stirs up buzz behind the scenes, the field will already be buzzing on Saturday. Yes, you guessed it. Josh Allen will not play in the Bills' first preseason game against the New York Giants. Head coach Sean McDermott personally confirmed this in a press conference earlier this week. Josh won't play this week, McDermott said firmly. The starters will be on the field for about a quarter, and then we'll let the rest flow from there. So, with the MVP candidate resting, that means Mitch Trubisky will take over for the first few snaps. It's a chance for Bills fans to see what the veteran backup and the depth of time can do with the spotlight focused specifically on them. Meanwhile, on the Giants' sideline, things are a bit more mysterious. Head coach Brian Daboll, who returns to Buffalo after helping engineer Josh Allen's rise as offensive coordinator, has kept some information vague about his own starter. Will Russell Wilson see the field? Possibly, but one thing we know, rookie quarterback Jackson Dart will get his chance to start. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, fans will have their first chance to see what these young talents can bring to the NFL. This matchup is about more than just warm-ups and reps. It's about depth, readiness, and rhythm. And with so many updates on trades, injuries, and roster changes, every snap matters. Kickoff is scheduled for Saturday at 1 p.m. ET at Highmark Stadium, and you can bet the place will be buzzing. The return of football, the constant questions swirling, the energy of a new season beginning. And you, Bills fan, do you think this is the right time to make the right decisions with so many injuries, cuts, and potential trades? Would you keep DaQuan Jones or trade for a star like Kayvon Thibodeaux? And what else needs to happen now for Buffalo to truly compete for the Super Bowl? Leave your opinion. Here, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel, but later I will come back to update you with the latest news from Buffalo Bills.